What up, everyone? This is Mr. Lord, Dr. Professor, Dark Joker, here with another edition of Traditional Fans with Opinions, where I'll give my reviews for whoever I watched, read, or played today. And who are Traditional Fans with Opinions? That is myself, and that is you, the viewers. With all that being said, on with the reviews. Percy Jackson, The Olympians, Season 2, Episode 7. So in this one, so you have a flashback to Talia sacrificing herself and Zeus turning her into a tree. And in the present, Percy, his group they get key card to Luke's suite, and he and Clarice have different plans. So Luke puts the fleece on Kronos' sarcophagus. Percy finds Annabeth, and he turns invisible when Luke arrives. Annabeth tells Luke that giving her the fleece will bring Talia back. Yeah, like that basically will actually resurrect her to a human. Kronos tells Allison to kill Annabeth. Clarice defeats Allison, as well as Skull Eater, so Percy gets the fleece and ignores and basically refuses to listen to Kronos. Percy and Luke fight. Percy escapes and is sealed by the fleece when Luke stabs him. So Percy sends Clarice back to camp with the fleece on Luke's Pegasus blackjack, so basically Percy tells Clarice that her prophecy of her doing the quest alone is that she'll just return to camp alone, not that she won't have friends or anything. So Sally takes Percy, and his friends back to camp, and Luke is concerned about a vision he had of Talia killing everyone, and Kronos orders Luke to kill Percy. Now, okay. So here's some of the issues with this. So as far as like, the Talia thing, um, so I do not there do not recall anything in the book about Percy having the vision of Talia attacking the camp. I do not recall that being, and I don't recall it being brought up of Annabeth even telling Luke that the police could fully bring back Talia. Like I recall that being a just like it was like an unexpected side effect. Like that's what I recall. Like it's doing this as like okay, that's part of the plan is to actually bring back Talia. No, yeah, it's and so Blackjack, who was like a Pegasus, the Percy's friend in the books, he appears a lot of the way Blackjack's like communicates with Percy, none of that is in this. So yeah, so I like, and so there's a whole deal, but no, basically yeah. So this is into a fight camp, which is not how so the book is. Percy gets captured after you know he sends Clarice back with the fleece, and basically Luke accidentally exposes himself when Percy sends an Iris message to camp, which exonerates Chiron. Because in the book, Chiron was a suspect because he was the son of Kronos. Yeah, The acting isn't terrible in this episode. The writing is not that great. Like, yeah, I was not a fan. Like, I would have liked if they were, I guess, more faithful to the book as far as how it goes. Like, like basically, like, so the way it's presenting some of the plot points, it's like it removes, so like having it basically part of the plan to bring back Talia removes the intrigue of it being an accident. Is one of the major things is that it's an accident. Like they did not plan it, but it's like, oh yeah, we planned on bringing Talia in, and then like how Luke deals with it before it happens, it's like, I mean, like Luke is supposed to be basically full villain at this point. But yeah, I did not really like this episode. I'll watch the finale. Health Teacher Nube 2025, episode 15. So in this episode, some of the students are talking about the yokai that can allow you to relive a moment you want to, I guess, change. So some of them were talking about what they would fix. And Noob says he tries to live a life without regrets. But then he comes across the yokai later and he's transferred back to his time as a kid where, he basically like was taught by his teacher Miss Minako, who was a psychic who had some powers. And basically his spiritual powers were weaker back then. So he was getting possessed all the time. She was having to exorcise him. And he has some tie jumps so basically she like is possessed and looks like to be killed by some snake demon, some snake yokai, whatever. When like basically he's sent back to the future, and that's what he was wanting to fix. Where she like sacrificed herself to heal him, and that basically inspired him to become a teacher. So, so back in the present, you knew like sees his students like they were asking what like they were concerned for him. And so he realized that he, shouldn't focus on changing the past, just focus on basically, I guess, making the most of the present. So he like moves on from what happened. Doesn't mean he's not sad about what happened to Mitoko, but he like moves on from what happened. So yeah, I thought this was a really good episode. That was cool seeing some of Noob's backstory. So yeah, I like this episode. Looking forward to the next one. Jack of all trades, Party of none, episode 3. So in this one, so the newspaper about Orun being kicked out of the hero party for, well, for, as far as the party's concerned, being too weak, basically spreads around. Everyone's right at this point. Selma apologizes to Orun for what the article said. And some of this, the recruits, they look at Orun weird. It's like they're concerned that he's not as powerful as they thought. So some of them they remind, hey, this guy reached 494. So they should they should still like remember that. So Sophia and Caroline, they have no problem believing him. Logan starts having concerns with him, with Orun, but Orun successfully leads them to like down the dungeon. They defeat a death tarantula, and Orun eats with Anthem and Bernard, two of the adventurers. And Logan asks Sophia and Caroline about Orun, and from what they say, he realizes Orun did everything perfectly, and he decides to learn from Orun. So Anthem and Bernard ask why Orun switched from enchanter to swordsman. Orun told that his grandfather was swordsman, and that's why he wanted to be a swordsman. And he only became an enchanter in order to help Oliver reach floor 94, because there's some more powerful monsters they need an enchanter. But he starts to say something, but what he doesn't tell them is that it was a dumb way to try reach floor 94 because he believes they did it too fast. So Oliver didn't learn anything for what happened. So Orun believes that there's no chance the hero party will get past floor 94. Sophia wants to ask Orun to join Silver Rabbits so she could see him every day. And then the hero party reached the labyrinth. So yeah, it looks like Orun's gonna come across his old party again. We'll see how that goes. Like how things go. That should be interesting. Just need to see how that happens and how like Orun continues to prove himself to everyone. So yeah, I thought this was a good episode. Looking forward to the next one. Playing death games to put food on the table, episode 2. So in this one, so this shifts the story to the past to Yuki's 10th game. We don't. So the premiere was her 28th game. So Yuki wakes up in an abandoned building, wearing a pitch black dress, and she meets four girls led by Mishiro. And Mishiro tries to gain control, basically tries to exert control over the group. So they find another, I guess, contestant who hit a landmine or something, fell in the hole and died. So they will try to get through without pressing any little landmines or whatever. And yeah, and, looks like there's a time limit of when they can leave for until they lose. It looks like. But yeah, they're just trying to find what's the correct route. So the group's not willing to trust Yuki for whatever reason. Yeah, and so this looks like with like Yuki like separating from them. Whenever one's like injured, the rest want to leave. Like Mishra wants to leave her. Um, Yuki says that they don't understand the game at all. So it looks like things are gonna pick up next week with the rest of the game. But yeah, I thought this is a decent episode. Looking forward to the next one. Ozzy, The Escape from Now. So this is a documentary on Paramount Plus. So this premiered in October of last year. Was not aware this existed until, well, recently. So I decided to watch it. So this goes over like the last like 6 years of Ozzy Osbourne's life, as he's trying to get back on the stage because due to all the health stuff. Obviously, he had a bunch of issues back then trying to get on. And you have how he got on for his final performance, and basically this you have interviews with Ozzy, with his family, his friends, and this covers like a lot because a lot of his production was going on before he died. So this documentary was already in the works. But yeah, so I saw it. I thought it was pretty good. Like he had like showing a lot of how he and Sharon were interacting. You see how basically how he's well beloved by the heavy metal community. I mean, obviously for good reason. He was a great singer. May he rest in peace. But yeah, I thought it was a good documentary. Like went over the information about how they handled all this health stuff, how they're like basically all that they're dealing with. Like it made an effective, informative documentary. Yeah, I thought it was good. You know, like it was very interesting, and yeah, I as a fan of classic music, like classic rock and roll music, I enjoyed this documentary. So yeah, I recommend watching it. And that's it. Did y'all like the stuff I reviewed? And if you have your own opinions about all that, you can put all that in the comments. Thank you for watching, and like, subscribe, and all that. And look forward to the next video.